This is just how I saw it. So there may be other people's truths, because two truths can be held at the same time. There may be other people's accounts that bring perspective to what I'm saying. Ultimately, what I saw, my eyewitness account, whilst working for just 3 months within Wirral Council, is that the management and the infrastructure at Wirral Council is failing massively and needs a complete rehaul. The staff are being pretty much abused by the workload that they are being given. And thusly, the children and the family of Wirral are being failed massively. And I've seen it with my own eyes. And so I'm just going to stand up for the people of Wirral, because you guys deserve better than that. I'm James Reed, and this is just how I saw it. I'm going to go in teacher style because I am an old school teacher, and I'm just going to go for it. So if I make mistakes, I do apologise. But this needs to be said. You need to hear this. You need to hear this, especially if you live in Wirral, because your council is being managed so poorly. It is negatively affecting the mental health of the children, the families, and the staff that it's supposed to serve. So I started working for Wirral Council, I think it was mid-April. I started to get my first infrastructure issue on the 26th of April. Not 2 weeks after I'd been there. The laptop that I was given to do what is a very, very complex and legal job, the laptop was shocking. I mean, you all know laptops, okay, and there's levels, but for this specific laptop, it was like from like the 1980s or something. It had one of those little red dot mouses where you move it about. Honestly, it was so bad, it was not fit for purpose. I got straight onto them about how the equipment within Wirral Council is not fit for purpose, and I got told I'd get a new laptop, they'd fix it, this, that, and the other. No, just little circle of death. Couldn't open emails, couldn't open anything. I have 51 pieces of video evidence going from the 26th of April to the end of the contract on July the 10th, where I still didn't get a new laptop. Still. So it was broken. They were broken. I got 2 in the new time. They were all broken, all of them. I'll do evidence set of the terrible, terrible equipment and infrastructure. And it's not even about money. It's not even, oh, well, there you go. There's the money for new laptops. It wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter because the infrastructure is so poor. Even when they request laptops, they take weeks to get out, and then they take weeks to get back. The whole system is broken. Like, the whole of that council needs a rethink. So obviously I was faithful with communicating with Wirral Council IT department, who are stupid slow, like crazy slow. I'm used to working in the private education industry, so things get fixed fast because we need to make sure that we keep on going out and doing the work. Wirral Council, not the same. So as far as their infrastructure is concerned, it is broken. I experienced it over and over and over again. By the time I left, I still hadn't had a new laptop. 3 months, okay? Broken. Barely even would open email. That's how bad it was. And then when they come to speak to you and say, how come we couldn't get hold of you at this time for this meeting? Because the laptop's broken. And that is happening over and over again. So right at the base point, all of the staff throughout Wirral have been working with a failing system. I was then told for a second time, after the improvement notice had dropped on Wirral Council, saying to them that they must improve communication with parents. And that's in the improvement notice served in May. After that, I was still being told, don't contact parents. It will only take your job longer. Well, that's just not me. I'm not that kind of practitioner. I know what the improvement notice said. So I went about my workload with my caseloads, ringing families and speaking to them. I didn't know anything about Life School. I'm not from that area. And so when I received an email from the council management team saying education healthcare plan coordinators don't speak to Wirral's Life School anymore, I was like, okay. So I just didn't speak to them. Carried on with my job. Forgot about it. And then on this one particular day, I'd got up, it was a Tuesday, I think. I'd got up and laptop on, gone to go and speak to a family call as I'd arranged. And I got on the call and the family member was really distressed. I'm used to dealing with stressed family members and stressed children, being that I worked within PRUs for so long. And so I started trying to calm the family member down. She was screaming like, where are you sending my children? What are you doing? Do you know what you're doing? Do you know where you're sending our children? This, that, and the other. And I had no clue. I don't watch TV. I don't do social media. I go for walks with my family when I want to chill out. So I know nothing about the media world. And it turned out, as she explained, that there was a documentary by Panorama the night before on Wirral Life School. And now this is a school that I would have been unknowingly sending students to. So I calmed her down and I said, listen, I'm so sorry. I don't know about this. I don't know why you're so upset, but listen, let me go away. Let me speak to my managers. Let me find out what's going on. And then I'll come back to you. I went off the call. I was very emotional at that point because she was crying a lot. And so I went away and I typed in Life School Panorama Wirral, and I watched the beginning of the documentary. And when I saw that kid in a headlock being pulled like that, I was nearly sick to my stomach. I could have sent a kid there. And I wouldn't have known about it. And it got Ofsteded. Just shows you any school can blag an Ofsted. You give them 2 days and they'll blag it. Give them 2 days before you go in, easily blag it. Okay? Because they got good apparently. And so I watched these, I was sick, went straight to calling manager, not there. Taking a day off the day after the Panorama documentary aired. That's strange. Okay, where's Adrian, send manager? Not there either. So he's taken a day off day after. Turns out they knew about the documentary because we received an email about them. They knew about Life School as well. And guess what? They didn't tell me. They didn't tell me anything, so I got into a phone call with a vulnerable parent and I knew nothing. I had no line about how we were supposed to explain the situation. I didn't know anything about. All I knew was these pictures that I received. And that is a massive failing of management. It's a massive failing of management towards me as a staff member, and it's a massive failing of management towards that family and the child that's in that home. At this point, I thought, right, no training, no induction, equipment's not up to snuff, and now hasn't communicated to me properly, resulting in me going into a vulnerable call with a family. I thought, I'm whistleblowing like, even when I am trained, I'm being trained against the improvement notice. So I decided to call the managers and whistleblow. Called my training manager, not there. Called my manager, not there. Called the send manager, not there. The only person that was on site was Elizabeth Hartley, the Director for Children and Families. And I thought, okay, I'm going to tell her everything. This is my chance to whistleblow. I'm going to tell her all about the start, all about the training, all about the equipment, all about the staff, all about the training contrary to the improvement notice. I'm going to tell her about this panorama stuff, not being told, and then ending up in a vulnerable conversation with a family. Like, where was the management support in that? Where were they when that panorama documentary aired? You know, I told her everything. And I also told Adrian Leach everything on the Friday after that call. So Tuesday, Friday. I spoke to Elizabeth Hartley, and if I'm honest with you, actually, I got a decent phone call about supporting me and taking some time to go on a few extra walks that week, and actually that was good. That was good. Credit to her for saying that in the moment. I then went on to explain just how badly I had been trained and treated whilst working at Wirral Council, and has said that I want to raise the concerns, that I'd like to help the HR team work through these issues. And she said, and I quote this, she said, "You are exactly the type of person I want working at Wirral Council." She said, "Go off the call, relax, go for some walks for a few days, do some write-ups, and then speak to Adrian on Friday." Whistle blew again to Adrian on Friday, explained the lack of training, everything, all of the things that I've already explained, I explained in a second call 5 days later. He stupidly decided that somebody who'd been in a terrible situation with Wirral Council for some reason would want extra responsibilities, and tried to get me as part of a training team, because he knew that my experience was in training and development within education. So therefore he tried to use that. I'd just come out of a very emotional phone call with a family. What I needed was the response that I got from Elizabeth initially, not to try and give me extra responsibilities. He later denied that, but I have an email where he confirmed that. So I've caught him in a lie. I've caught him lying. I spoke to Adrian, thought everything was fine, but then received a phone call on a Saturday, which I knew shouldn't happen. So I was worried again, thought something else had gone on. Turns out that was just a mistake. And then on the Monday, when I got back into work, I think it was Monday, Tuesday, I heard back from the senior leadership team through my manager that they were cancelling my contract right after I'd whistleblown twice. I said, "This isn't right." I said, "You can't do this." I said, "I've whistleblown." I said, "You can't move me out. You can't. You've got to allow me to progress this." They said no. They refused to investigate, and they cut my contract within about 3 days. I explained to them, "I'm a teacher. I need a DBS. It'll take me 6 weeks. You will crush my family. We will have no ability to earn any income. My outgoings are quite high, so therefore I've been living at that level. I'm gonna be financially troubled, big time trouble." They explained this: "If you do this, please don't just end my contract. Allow me to finish my contract to the end of August, allow me to work with the families that I was working with. I was given no reason at that point. They said no. I said, great, let me speak to HR. I need to get more of this stuff out. I need to get this whistleblowing. They refused an exit interview, and then they refused to allow me to speak to HR or to further log my whistleblowing, and then they ended the contract. Obviously, I went straight to my agency and fought it, and I fought it for months now, to the point where I actually have a lawyer who is willing to fight them, and he believes that they have done something illegal in me whistleblowing to them, to two managers, and then them moving me out. I was silenced. They refused to allow me to speak, and then I was gonna, and I couldn't afford the barrister fees. Basically, even if I wanted to sue them, which I do, I would love to, but I couldn't afford the barrister fees. So at the point when the staff of Wirral Council started to strike because of the conditions, I knew I had to speak up. I knew this is my time, and I'm glad I didn't sue them, because they would have got me to sign a non-disclosure agreement. But now the information can be public, and the families of Wirral can be safer.